As Karen says, I'm just going to give you a brief update on the knowledge exchange strategy. Now, some of you may have been involved in the consultation or be very aware of what's going on in terms of knowledge exchange, but others of you, it might be new. So I just want to give you a quick overview of where we are in terms of the knowledge exchange strategy. The first thing to say is kind of why have we developed a strategy? And there's a number of reasons. As Debbie's alluded to, there's a lot of external changes going on at the moment, and there's a big emphasis from the government on universities being recognised and exploiting what they do in terms of the research agenda and engaging with business to make sure that the research that we undertake has a genuine impact across not just the UK but the world. You may have heard of the industrial strategy, which the government launched last year, and a lot of the government strategy is about ensuring that the UK is economically viable going forward and that universities are considered part of the engine of that driver of economic growth, which means there's an emphasis on us as researchers, as academics across the institution to ensure that what we are doing helps drive both the economic side of the UK, but also the culture and the societal elements of how the UK is going to go forward. So that's one of the reasons we need a knowledge exchange strategy. We need to understand how we are contributing to the UK and the global society. There is a fund called HIFE, the Higher Education Infrastructure Fund. This is something that the university gets an allowance from each year, and that is all to help us do this work. But unless we have a strategy to say what we're going to do in this area, it's very hard to justify how we spend that money and what the value is out of that fund. We're doing, across the institution, you are all doing enterprise, you are all doing innovative activities. Many of you are engaging with external partners on a regular basis, but within the institution, we haven't had particularly good oversight of this activity or provided you with the support that you need in order to do more of that. So again, having a strategy that lays these things out will make sure that when you do these types of enterprising activities, when you want to engage with business, when you want to commercialise your activity or drive policy changes, that there is support within the university to help you. And also we want to make sure there's clarity across the institution around the kind of cross-cutting areas. So what's our vision? You've got to have a vision statement. Our vision is that the university will be at the heart of tackling major societal, economic challenges in partnership with other organisations who recognise and understand our values. And that's really important, and that it builds on our research. This isn't something that happens in isolation. This is building on the research, the teaching at the university, and, as Debbie again has alluded to, our student body, both our research students and our undergraduates. So how are we going to do that? Firstly, we need to know what those challenges are, what the wider community, and by wider community I mean the UK and the global community. What are the challenges that are being faced? So that we understand what those are, then we can start to drive more of our outputs to address those. In order to do that, as I said, you need a supportive environment. You need to know as researchers how the university is helping you do that. We want to diversify our income. We all know that the HE sector is in a tight spot. There's lots and lots of things going on at the moment that means that we are struggling, or there are barriers and challenges that we have to face in terms of drawing down income into the institution, whether that's student fees, whether that's the USS pension. There's lots of different pressures on the university. If we can diversify our income, that's one way of supporting the growth within the higher education sector. But what I want to emphasise is that knowledge exchange is not just about income. We are not just saying to everybody, you've got to commercialise your income. It's for all those different ways of seeing the value of your research. And we want to continue to create that culture of innovation. We want people to be trying new things, to be innovative, to take risks, and to have the support structures to allow that to happen. So the knowledge exchange strategy has been worked on over the last kind of 6 to 9 months. There has been a lot of consultation. We're aware we can't consult with everybody, so I can guarantee you that people in every single faculty have been consulted with and have contributed to the overall strategy. And we've divided the strategy into 4 main themes, and I'm going to whistle through these. If you want more information, then please do get in contact. If you want a copy of the documents, that's fine. The first thing is defining what we've got. what are we doing? What are we good at? What are we brilliant at? How are we responding to the emerging challenges? How do we assess ourselves in terms of the regional, national and international demands? And making sure that we're responding to our stakeholders. So that's the first thing. What are we offering? What have we got in our bag that we can exploit, that can inform society, that can create cultural and socio-economic change? The second theme is, how within the university do we support that knowledge exchange activity? We want, and I'm from the professional services side, so the evil centre or whatever, I am from the centre, but our aim is to support you. We are here as a facilitator, not a blockage. And very often there is that, oh my goodness, we've got to go through the centre, we've got to go through this, we've got to go through that. What this knowledge exchange strategy is trying to do is to drop those barriers, to understand where are the things that you feel are blocking what you want to do in the centre, and making sure we have a streamlined, transparent and open processes that you understand, that you can access and that work. So that's a big piece of work that we're going to do to make sure that we have a really good process that you can engage with. And in order to do that, we need good governance, we need good financial modelling, etc. And we want to develop a sector-leading portfolio of initiatives that really stimulate and sustain what you want to do in the knowledge exchange strategy. This is driven by your research responding to economic and social needs. The third thing, of course, we have to tell people what we're doing. So, as Debbie said, we are improving. People are getting to know more and more about the fantastic and excellent work that's done at York, but we need to do more. We need to be able to create those partnerships with people that we want to work with by really raising the profile of what we do. So that is not just websites, it's more than websites. It's really communicating, getting to the heart of those organisations, governments, corporate businesses, telling them what we're doing, making sure that they realise that we can help them solve problems. Whatever those problems are, if they relate to our research, we want to be at the centre of supporting them. And we want to start doing more key account management. If I ask now which organisations, which people, which governments, which groups you work with, I can guarantee there will be people in this audience who are working with the same organisations and you don't know it. And we don't want to stop people working with these organisations, but we want to make sure we're getting the best out of it. So if we have 50 researchers that are all working with Unilever in different things, that's phenomenal. Let's do something more with that, because that shows that as a university, there's a lot of potential working with that organisation. Or if we're all working, or a whole load are working with a DWP in government, let's build on that. Let's not just have silos of activity. Let's really drive that. And then the final one was we want to kind of create this culture of knowledge exchange. We want people to see this as a really fundamental element of what they're doing and to be excited by it, because it is really exciting. The things that can come out of this agenda are fabulous. So we really want to excite and support academics. So when you start your research, when you get new people in, you're talking, knowledge exchange becomes part of the conversation around what you're doing with your research. Why are you doing your research? So we want to have incentives, we want to recognise what people are doing through promotion, through personal development, through training, to make sure that people have the skills and the support that they need. And we want to create a culture, not just for the staff, but for the students as well, that this is all embodied in who the University of York is. So that's the knowledge exchange strategy. It is a whistle-stop tour. There's a lot more behind how we came to these conclusions, how we came to these themes, and I'm very happy to chat at another time in more detail. But finally to say, there is a detailed implementation plan that we are looking at the moment, and that goes through all the things that we need to do. We know in professional services we have a lot of work to do because we really genuinely want to support you. So we've got a lot of work to do, and it will involve talking to you, finding out more about what you need us to do. But our implementation plan will have an actions, timescale, who's responsible, what resource we're going to need to do it, and that isn't just necessarily financial resource, it's actually people, readjusting what people in central services, professional services are doing, what the outcome will be if we achieve what we're wanting to do, and what the impact will be. So, whistle-stop tour, hope that's helpful. As I say, we're here to help you. We are professional services, the clue's in the name. We're professional, we hope, and we're here to give you a service. Thank you.